Okay, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, or good morning, or good afternoon, or whatever the case may be. It's 3UTC. We've got some OSU action. Welcome back to Hippo Cup number 9. It's New SEAland. It's matalisbaldspot. And we're going to be getting underway here in just a couple moments. So welcome, everybody. And welcome to Juno. Good evening.
Good evening. I am excited for this match. It's our first match of the bracket stage in Hippo Cup 9. We have an exciting map pool that's been put in front of us with some very interesting picks. So we will we'll see what the players decide to bring forward with their selections. And I see we have a best of 11 on our hands. So first to 6 points here in the bracket stage. This is the round of 16.
Yeah, we get going. We hit the ground running pretty quick here in the bracket stage. Best of 11 right off the jump. And yeah, pool, you know, it's Hippo Cup, so you're expecting some Hippo Cup stuff. Looking at you, DT6. That's some Hippo Cup. DT5, DT6, that's some Hippo Cup right there. That is some peak Hippo Cup happening. So
Sure is.
I'm looking forward. I was reviewing the pool earlier, and I was like, man, I want to see people play so much of this stuff because there's just some wild shit going on.
Yeah. Looking at the two teams that we have here, New SEAland. I had the opportunity to cast a few of the New SEAland matches in the group stage, so it's actually quite nice to be able to come and commentate a team that I'm already familiar with. They are led by none other than Hubba Wubba as their team captain, with Osbert, Emilbus, Ikarusi, Belladonna, Hasabi, Abruzin, JGLF, and Chests. We did not see Chests very much in the group stage, but New SEAland had a couple of... they went 3-0 in their group. They had Ikarusi was one of the top performers, top 10 in score for the group stage, and their opponents are matalisbaldspot, getting into some bans here as well.
Yeah, we got the quick New SEAland Nomad 5 ban, the quick matalisbaldspot DT5 ban. So that is our, let's see, I have to remember, low AR, hybrid tech, Nomad in the Nomad 5, DT5, of course. It's endless Tawima Park. I don't think I need to introduce that map. And matalisbaldspot, I want to touch on this team for a second, because they're in an interesting spot where they had the worst point differential and the tied fewest points won of any of the teams that managed to get through the group stage. They went 11 and 10 in maps for a positive 1 point differential. They lost one match 5-1, won one match 5-1, and won the remaining match 5-4 to go through Group B. One of, I think, 3 C seed teams to get through group stage, which makes them on paper look, I think, a lot weaker than they actually are. Because you look at the team's scores, and really on maps in common, there's not a huge gap between these guys on a lot of these picks. So I think I feel like it's closer in reality than it might be on paper. I mean, you've got guys on these rosters who I think are going to still be doing well. The pool got a lot harder this week, though, so that'll be something to keep an eye out for.
Definitely. Yeah, especially with a lower SR pool, sometimes you will see some lower ranked teams really put up some great scores. That match that you mentioned that went to tiebreaker. They took down the all Brazilian team captained by Corey Maluco. So that's no easy task whatsoever, taking down that team as well. Had some maybe not as high caliber players in the stats market as New SEAland did, but still had some overall great performers in Zimby and Orngoose and No Hidden. Or Hidden on Osu, sorry.
Hidden on Osu, yeah.
Yeah, that's Hidden on Osu. We see our last bands coming out here. It's going to be a No Mod 4 ban from New Zealand, so they're going to be taking away the Nekomata Master awkward map, and then DT6. Why they gotta take out the 2 fun DT maps?
They actually just banned like the 4 of the most like interesting maps in the pool, right? Like New Zealand banning Nomad 4, Nomad 5. That's like hybrid tech and hybrid tech. One at a normal AR, one at a low AR. And then matalisbaldspot banning the 2 really... I mean, DT6, like, it's 7 seconds long. I don't know why you'd feel like you need to waste a ban on that, quite honestly. But obviously, DT5, 2B. So it's like they just don't want us to have any fun. They only want to play normal maps. Like, now we're going to see, like, what? Nomad 1, Nomad 2, Hard Rock 1, DT1. Like, we're going to be bored, man. I'm sorry.
Free mod 1. It's a Gazmal map, so it's like kind of.
I don't like Gazmal. I'm sorry, not a fan.
That's fair.
His streams are unpleasant.
They're not fun to play.
No,
they're fun to watch, in my opinion.
Well,
it's fun to watch Toy play Gazmal maps.
I miss Toy. Come back to tournaments. The USA needs you. So first pick matalisbaldspot, who we are apparently just waiting on here for a while. After you ban DT5, DT6. So I'm genuinely like expecting them to pick something really straightforward if those are your bans. Like you're legitimately like setting yourself up to pick just the basic mechanics. Nope, they're picking Nomad 6. All right, I don't understand anything about this world. This is just down Nomad 6. Like, if you're around in, like, 2021, 2022, when that was the meta for the super meta pools, it's just a down Nomad 6, man.
Yeah. It's like, typical, just finger control plus rhythm changes, and, Nawashi, obviously, one of the first artists that I would say came in and, was one of the main artists that brought this type of mapping, this type of play style into OSU standards. So it's really cool to see keep going on. Also, apparently, I believe during the map pool showcase, they found out that this was the second time that this has been pooled in Hippo Cup. So, I mean, you do you, Hippo.
He has a sheet. That has like all old pools all compiled together, so you'd think he could check that, but I guess not. There was another map in this pool that I think we've seen before. But it could have been in. It must have been in USC. I think Chocobo was in like USC in the last couple of years, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to remember, but
yeah, I was like, I remember seeing this. But yeah, this is I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this as first pick. There wasn't anything really like this in the group stage pool. Maybe you could compare like the Nomad 3 from groups, but even then you really don't have a super same type of map. So this is kind of something new to the pools for this tournament.
Yeah, and I would say that this is a skill set that has become standard in its own way, so definitely something that these players will have encountered before. Also noting in this is that this, just for anybody that maybe they're just coming on for the bracket stage for Hippo Cup, but we are playing with Score V1, so the combo gaming on this map could become a factor, especially you'll see some lower accuracies usually on these more rhythm-focused finger control maps. So we could see a combo game make a difference here on either side.
Yeah, this is very true. There's, I think, a few maps in this pool that may be kind of like that, so I'll be interested to see. But we are gonna get underway here as we load in Osbert, the delay. There we go. So we've got Ikarusi, Hasapi, Osbert, Arbusian on the hiddens, Towns KC09 on the hiddens with Orange Juice, and Bung Wung on the nomads for Metalis Baldspot. And we'll get underway here. It's first pick of the bracket stage, and it's matalisbaldspot to try and open things up on their own terms.
Yeah, just the early miss coming from Towns himself on the early on miss. This map a little bit on the longer side. It is, I believe, around that 3-minute mark, so going to be definitely some combo that can be built up, but finding another miss on Towns definitely going to hurt that score v1 multiplier here, and really struggling now. Orange Juice also finding the second miss, and Towns really struggling here on the first pick. Bungwong also, so 3 FCs down on the side of matalisbaldspot. Just KTO9 hitting this opening quarter of the map, still holding on to the FC, but New Zealand, they were the top seed coming out of Group G. They're still holding on to 4 strong FCs. Also, I would say playing at a pretty good hour right now. A lot of these players playing from either New Zealand or Philippines or even Thailand. A couple of Americans as well. So do see 2 FCs drop on there with Hasapi and Arbuzin, but it is Osborne and Ikarusi holding on. 1 Nomad and 1 Hidden.
Yeah, the time zones for these teams are kind of interesting, because New Zealand, obviously, with Belladonna and Hubba Wubba, like, opting to specifically play on a team in this time zone. Like, they intentionally put together a roster that would be comfortable being, kind of that average of like a UTC +9, whereas, matalisbaldspot, like, if you're, East Coast United States, it's 10 p.m. already, which for OSU players is probably not that late, but somebody like that's an adult with a job, like, this gets to feeling late quickly. Like, I've been up since 7 a.m., bro. But we'll see if that comfort comes into play. I feel like, you opt into accepting a reschedule, you're probably fine with it. And, the recoveries are there, right? Orange Juice and Bungwong have managed to get back into the swing of things, but that's an 11 million score lead, right? Ikarusi and Osbert on the FCs still for New Zealand, and just looking really calm, cool, and collected with it so far through this map.
Yeah. KTO9 was holding on to the FC, unfortunately did find the break, so this is really just gonna exponentially grow here for New Zealand. Over 1200 combo. You gotta think that every time you're hitting a note, it is 300 points times the amount of combo that you have. So it is growing exponentially every single time, and that's why you see so many of these like massive, like 20 million score leads now. This is how we used to play OWC, by the way.
Gosh, trying to think when OWC went to score v2 as New Zealand closes out the double FC here.
2015.
That's a nice opening performance, I gotta say, from Ikarusi and from Osbert to go into this Nomad 6 with the 2-way on that team and really get things started on the right foot, showing why they had the performance level that they did in the group stage. And wow, that is an instant pick. They were ready to go with that one. They took no time thinking about the first pick there, did New Zealand. They are just going straight Hard Rock 4. We have no time to discuss what just happened. We are instantly going on to our CS 6.5 pick. And one of the many short maps in this pool, right? This is on average a pretty short pool in general. And this one's sub 2 minutes. Minute 54 game version or whatever of the song. And it's a pretty straightforward one, except for the fact that it's 6.5, and starting off a match with 6.5 is not always the easiest.
Yeah, I would say this Hard Rock 4, it's this set. Okay, so
this is a new set.
It is a new set, so it has some like light tech elements, but it's nothing that these players wouldn't get really tripped out by. So it's really looking at just precision flat out here. But on a shorter scale, it also means that you have less potential combo to build up, so less potential score overall. Yeah.
Yeah, max combo on this is legitimately it's like not even 700.
700.
Yeah. So this is gonna be one where you need to be on your A game from moment one. And New Zealand looked that way on the first map, so we'll see if they can continue that here. even even in best of 11, right, you get down early points and it can start to snowball quickly. So the quicker matalisbaldspot can find their footing in this match, obviously, the better.
Yeah. I believe we are... Oh, that is a interesting...
It is.
Yeah, that is an interesting development there. So could possibly be missing a few players with the later time, maybe on that East Coast that you were mentioning, it being relatively later for some of these players. So it's about 8:15 where I am, but maybe just MIA a little bit as well. Orange
Juice is from somewhere on the West Coast-ish. Zimby is from Florida, however. Hidden on Osu is from I don't know where. Doesn't have it on his profile. Also, Hidden on Osu, I would like to note, on his Osu profile has am not playing tournaments at the top of his me section. So, oops, we did not load Hard Rock. So that's curious. There's our Hard Rock. Okay, that's a little more like it. Thank you, yeah. Tournament client. Thank you, tournament client. Very fun. And away we go. Map number 2, Hard Rock number 4, Miss number 1, Mr. Jeffrey.
Yeah, I find it quite interesting that this is a tournament where we don't generally see, unless it's like Zoodinator, we don't generally see much hidden Hard Rock play in tournaments. So I find that very unique to Hippo Cup is that we do get to see hidden Hard Rock. We do see another break coming out of Osbert here, who is on one of those hidden Hard Rocks. So this will come back a little bit, but there's 2 misses on the side of matalisbaldspot, traded as well by Osbert. It is Chest, Arblusion, and Emilbus holding on to these 3 FCs on the side of New Zealand on their first pick as we are halfway through the map, getting into the 1 Ki in this game version map. And here we go.
And there's some breaks on the little buzz slider, and that's going to be a triple reset for matalisbaldspot. Arblusion does find a couple of misses for New Zealand, but they are still on the double FC on Chests and Emilbus, and they're just going to be rolling on this pick as well. This is a team very much in control on both of these first 2 maps, looking super, super comfortable. The early break from Osbert recovered, and the 2 FCs, just nothing to fight against that if you're matalisbaldspot. And that is going to be a double FC again here for New Zealand. 4 FCs on the first 2 picks, and 2 very comfortable wins. Just like that, and that's how these short maps go. You fall behind early, and it just kind of snowballs from there, and all of a sudden the map is over, and you're down 2-0 in the match, and that is that.
Yeah, it is back to matalisbaldspot's pick. You wonder if they go for something more lower on the skill cap. Maybe something like a... I don't think they pick a DT here. Maybe something like the Fremont 4, another TV size map, but then that gets so coin flippy with it being such a short map. Or maybe they do want to go for something more standard now with like the DT1, Nomad 1, and Fremont 1 open. I also don't think that Nomad 2 is one of the... Like, Nomad 2 is not one of the craziest maps in the world, so could see that also come out here. It is unfortunate missing 2 of your top players on your team.
Yeah, we'll see what the story is there, if they're going to make it or if they're just gone for the entire match, because that is going to be a really rough situation if matalisbaldspot is indeed missing both of those players. Yeah, I would kind of like to see something a little more generic, perhaps, from them after the way those first 2 picks went. I am definitely on team, pick like Nomad 1, Nomad 2, Hard Rock 1, DT 1. DT 2, honestly, to me, feels a little skill cappy. That map is, like, mechanically quite challenging, I feel like, in pretty much all aspects, the tapping and the aim, so I don't know if I'd necessarily go there. I don't know. If your pick strategy was to start with this Nomad 6, like, what's the logical picks from there? I mean, maybe it's Nomad 2 or like Fremod 4 if you're kind of thinking of going weirder stuff, but with the finger control. But no, they're gonna go DT1. So they're picking one of the many maps that I mentioned, which there were quite a few. So I'm not gonna take too much credit for that. But DT, it's Senya DT. Like, this is just Senya DT. That's all it is. You know it. You love it. I love that there are maps in this pool that I can say that sort of thing about. It's just like, yes, if you've ever seen a tournament before, you have seen Senya DT.
Yep. You sure have. It's a it is a classic, I would call it at this point. AR10, so this will be relatively readable for everybody if there are any players in this lobby. I assume that most players that play in high-level tournaments can read 10.3 at this point, but nonetheless, there is some lower AR options here. They're sitting at 10. And yeah, I honestly think this is just going to come down to, will we find some more sleepy misses on New Zealand if they do kind of get bored playing this map? You never know. Hey, you never know. Hey, you never know. And then if Metalis could just like lock in on this pick, it's a more standard map. Can they just lock down a few FCs here? But definitely expecting a few FCs on the side of New Zealand here.
Yeah, especially when you notice that Hasapi is rank 4 on this map from 3 days ago, and Emelbus is rank 13 on this map from like an hour ago.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, New Zealand might be feeling pretty good about this pick, despite it being their opponents. This is, the struggle of being the lower seeded team, realistically, especially when you make the star rating jump from the previous round into this one. How about saying we use timeout? Okay, there actually aren't timeouts. You don't have timeouts to use. That said, like, tech difficulties, we'll give them some leeway, but they don't have, like, literal timeouts. I don't know why people don't know that. I feel like we've answered that a lot.
Yeah. I wasn't sure when I was calming previous matches, so I didn't say anything about it. But looks like we're going to get Emilbus back into the lobby, or he gets a lobby of himself.
Our referee is listening to the stream, which means our referee hopefully heard what I went on to say about 10 seconds after I said that there aren't timeouts.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that that Sindrian, Miss Emma, is paying attention to what's going on here. But it looks like I think we have an Emelbus sighting, so he is back. So that was enough time to get things sorted out. Hopefully.
Very good.
Hopefully we'll be able to get going here. Let's see. Evernight. I'm just searching users on this leaderboard. Okay, DT only, 99.3 AC FC from a couple days ago. Nice.
There you go.
Orange
That's a
Juice,
step in the right direction.
Orange Juice has a 96 AC 2 miss, so not necessarily the greatest. Bungwung no score on Bancho, and Mr. Jeffrey also no score on Bancho. So, on paper, advantage New Zealand, but you never know. Anything can happen once you get into the match proper. Wishing good luck to both teams, but maybe a little bit extra to matalisbaldspot to avoid falling behind the double break point early.
I would say Orange Juice was just waiting to peak at the right moment. He got that 2 miss a couple days ago. Now he's ready to go head first in and grab the FC here.
Yeah, he wasn't warmed up for speed on that day.
No. Looking at some accuracies, a little bit of an accuracy drop on Emilbus. And we do see the first break coming out of Mr. Jeffrey, but a little bit of a break. Bungwung also sitting down at around just below 96% right now, so doesn't seem to have the same comfort, although it is coming back up. Still the quad FC on the side of New Zealand. That's Evernight with another break on the side of matalisbaldspot. So it's going to be 2 FCs still running on the side of matalisbaldspot with Bungwung and Orange Juice, although with some slightly lower accuracy. And the 4-way for New Zealand halfway through, relatively average size length map 2.5 minutes about here with the DT on.
Yeah, and this is realistically not the end of the world as of yet for matalisbaldspot, right? That lead is only 6-7 million score, and the combos are starting to get pretty big, especially with the double FC that they still have. Now, yes, New Zealand does have the 4-way, but any break could spell disaster still. This has not gone too far any which way as of yet. Quarter of the map to come. Bungwong on the low AC FC, Orange Juice on the slightly better AC FC. Evernight, really the sad story there. Best AC on the team, but he does have the break. And it's just the 4-way still from New Zealand, and now they really are starting to pull away a little bit. 12 million, another break from Mr. Jeffrey. That might put it out of reach.
Yeah, and they just looked so comfortable on the side of New Zealand. It's just these 4 FCs still going to the end. 99.53 on Hasapi, 99.5 as well on Ikarusi. And there we go into the end. It's going to be 61.9. 619. Any Rey Mysterio fans in the chat here? New Zealand going to be taking their second break point here. And it's going to be their pick now. If they're able to, and I believe they will be able to pull out another map that they could be very confident on to go up 4-0 here and make quick work of this evening match here.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing at a super, super high level thus far in this match. It's 4 FCs on the first 2 maps and then a 4-way to follow that up. It's just really, really solid play from them so far. Really, absolutely, you know, you can't criticize anything that they've done so far. Really good stuff. And you know, you're kind of just back on your heels here if you're matalisbaldspot, already down the double break point, and really haven't had a way into any of these maps yet. So we'll see where New Zealand goes next, and they can really kind of lock into this match with a 4-0 lead. It's going to get out of hand quickly. You know, this is where you almost wish you had the DT6 if you're matalisbaldspot, just as the ultimate coin flip.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is like, you would think at this point, if you wanted like a momentum shifter, you would take out either the DT5 or the DT6 at this point. But they banned out those maps, so that's not possible. And looks like New Zealand taking a little bit more time than they did last time with this pick. They picked the Hard Rock 4 with their last pick, so maybe they go back to the Hard Rock pool. There's still 3 DTs left open. The entire Fremont pool is still open. And it's going to be that DT2. So we're going to be going into Wake Up. As you said earlier, a little bit more of a challenging map mechanically with both the tapping and the aim. I would find there are a few very stamina intensive, not necessarily the fastest, but just stamina draining sections. So that's where I would be putting my attention on this map.
Yeah, the 2 longer streams, like there's, you know, before a couple of the Kiais really stand out in terms of tapping strain on this map, especially with it being AR 10.3, so you're going to be questioning that rating ability a little bit higher as well. And, you know, a decent amount of relatively tough aim also. You know, Natsu aim is generally, you know, relatively comfortable, but it's not easy. And there are the kick slider jumps thrown in as well, which you can find breaks here and there on kick slider jumps super, super easily. So definitely some mechanical skill going to be required on this one. But considering how good New Zealand just looked on the DT1, I foresee them looking pretty good on the DT2 as well.
Can they match a 4-way? That is yet to be seen.
I would be super impressed by a 4-way on this map.
True. Yeah. I think just with the 10.3, there is a little bit more of a chance for more slip-ups than on AR10. Also, we do see Belladonna saying that if they slider break in the intro, we have permission to strike down Natsu. So I don't know who has that type of power, but we'll see if they decide to use it.
What we need is no OO DT. Speaking of Natsu maps, that would be the sliders in that on DT. Oh my god, has that even been DT'd? I wonder if that's even been DT'd. Let me go look. Doesn't look like it has. All right. Well, in we go. Intro. Let's watch Belladonna to see if she finds a slider break. No slider breaks here. So well done. We
there you go.
Natsu lives to see another day. However, Evernight and Mr. Jeffrey do not, as they both broke in that intro.
Yep. Still see as we get through this first relatively calm verse. Here we go into the first set of streams. Arbujan's going to be finding the first misses on the side of New Zealand. So first time since over a map ago that we saw some misses. It's going to be traded back by Mr. Jeffrey and Bung Bung on the side of matalisbaldspot. Arbujan finding more misses, but it's just the one miss. Player missing on the side of New Zealand. Still the 3 FCs on Belladonna, Emilbus, and Ikarusi. Evernight really struggling to build up any type of recovery combo here as well. It's just Orange Juice on the FC on the side of Metalis.
Yeah, this is, unfortunately, this is just, I think, kind of some elements where you start to see the skill cap coming into play a little bit as we get back into the next longer stream. How will we do on these circular streams? And the answer is pretty well for about everybody. Ikarusi does suffer, but you've got a double FC still on Belladonna and Emilbus. You've got a 7 million score lead. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Orange Juice, but there goes Emilbus, so that does kind of open it up here just a little bit for matalisbaldspot to try to bring this back. Even with Evernight falling, I think that's not the end of the world yet. If Belladonna breaks, this is doable, but Belladonna would have to break, and with the accuracy, I don't know that that's too likely. And oh man, Mr. Jeffrey. Fourth player syndrome is very real.
Yeah, sitting down at that 88%, just not comfortable at all. Maybe the 10.3 coming into place. I think at this point, with how the score is going, Belladonna and Arbujan would both have to miss for this to come back with Orange Juice. And there goes Belladonna. So there's the FC gone on the side of New Zealand. Let's see where the score lies. Orange Juice and Bangwang still holding on. Arbujan's also holding on, but it's not going to be enough. It's only 6 million points for New Zealand. Definitely the closest map. The closest map with like over a certain amount of score that players can get. But because everything is in ratio. But anyways, New Zealand win. They're up 4-0.
Shoutouts to Orange Juice for 99.52 AC full combo. Well done over there. Unfortunately, the team had 2 B ranks with a 5 million and a 3 million score versus the bottom scores on New Zealand being 8.4 and 8.0 even million. So just not getting the backing scores that they would have needed on matalisbaldspot to make that one a little bit closer or maybe even win it. Belladonna saying, my local was 95 and then got 99.31 S rank in the match. I have a hard time believing that your local was 95 if you were able to do that in the match.
Sometimes those match nerves actually aid the speed. Not that this is speed, but like the tapping.
But we're quickly at 4-0. It's 2 consolidated breakpoints. This is getting toward a rough position here for matalisbaldspot very, very quickly. Already only 2 maps away from and a quick exit from the winner's side of things.
matalisbaldspot, they've been going with some more interesting picks. I would say they've picked the Nomad 6 first, which really did not go their way, and then they picked
They picked the DT1.
DT1, which also really didn't go their way, considering the other team forwarded that. So we'll see if they decide to stick with DT, whether they go to a different mod pool. Free mod pool still hasn't been touched. We could maybe see them try going into there, but there's of course no obligation, and it is going to be back to a more standard map. We are going to be seeing the Nomad 1 Inza Buraku being a Buta Otome. really just standard barking mad dog game here.
Yeah, my note on that was just like it's BMD aim. It's just triangles as far as the eye can see. I will say there is a not insignificant amount of tapping requirement in this. The like what you hear right now in the song, where it's just these endless triples before you go into the key eye times, that does have some tapping strain to it. We'll have some finger control tapping, stamina required, but other than that, it's just, you know, moderately high BPM, pretty comfortable aim. And, well, given what we just saw on certain similar elements of DT2, it was certainly more competitive than the maps before it, so I get it if you're matalisbaldspot.
And as well, I don't know if you saw this as well, but I saw a wild hidden on Osu in the lobby and just checked into the lobby for about 5 seconds and then left. So we'll see what happens. Could be available for this match now.
Will that be the difference maker? Can Hidden on Osu come in and make some magic happen for matalisbaldspot? Hidden on Osu back in the matalisbaldspot jersey. He never should have left. The magician. Ugh.
I agree, Bangwang. Butao Tome featured artist when? Please make it happen, Peppy. It'll never happen.
I mean, that would be kind of sick. They've certainly had enough songs in pools. It's like, hey, we like your stuff, guys.
Yep. Make it happen.
Yeah.
There is Hidden on Osu.
At Pishy. Whoever sees Pishy at assuming he goes to level up again this year, whoever runs into Pishy at TRT at level up, ask him to get Butatome into the FA program. Anyway, in we go. It's Osbert, it's Belladonna, it's Ikarusi, it's JGLF in for the first time for New Zealand. Evernight, Orange Juice, Bangwang, and as mentioned, the protagonist, Hidden on Osu of matalisbaldspot, looking to lead them to their first map win of the match.
And one thing I might find interesting for some of these hidden players is that there are quite a few perfect stacks in this song, or in this map, so that we'll see if it trips anybody up. Hasn't so far, as we see still 4 FCs across the board getting into this first Ki section, and as you've mentioned, it's triangles as far as the eye can see, and it's going to catch up Belladonna first as we get into some of these more of these patterns. It's just the one miss, as well as Hidden on Osu actually did miss as well. It's going to be another miss from Evernight on the side of matalisbaldspot. So it's 3 FCs on the side of New Zealand taking. As I say that, there's another break on JGLF, so it is 2-2 now. Who's up next to finding the break here on the aim sections here, as nobody else has further broken. So it's going to be 2 FCs to 2 here, as we are just hitting that halfway point into those triples before the Ki isn't really catching anybody out on the accuracy as well as the combo here. And all players that have broken have now recovered relatively well. It is Orange Juice finding another break, as well as Hidden on Osu following it up, was recovering well, but is finding a break. And it isn't responded at all on the side of New Zealand. There is no response there.
Yeah, the double FC looking solid. Belladonna, JGLF both building back up. And there's just not going to be much that matalisbaldspot can do. The best efforts of Bangwang are just not going to matter. That lead out at 6 million score through the stream into the break at the 3/4 mark. Look at the accuracy on Ikarusi, by the way. Quite strong over there. And coming to that stage where it's about done and dusted as Evernight, the next to fall, Hidden on Osu again. Bangwang, he could bring in the FC for matalisbaldspot, but it's not going to make a dang bit of difference, as New Zealand are going to take another comfortable win and comfortable break point, and with it a whole bunch of match points. We're looking at 5-0 here Will our first match of the bracket stage be an unfortunate sweep as New Zealand just continue to steamroll through this match? It's a double FC just to put an exclamation mark on their 5th point.
Yeah, big props to Bung Wong as well, also pulling out the FC on the side of matalisbaldspot, as well as an S rank for Orange Juice.
Orange Juice.
Orange Juice. Sorry.
Orange Juice, my beloved.
But finds the S rank, just the one slider break, I believe. So really tragic. You wonder what the score could have been if it weren't for the slider break, but it is the 2 FCs as well as another S rank on JGLF, so also finding that slider break. As you said, 5 match points here for New Zealand. It's probably one of the tallest mountains that I've seen a team need to climb to even just get to playing tiebreaker.
Yeah, this is a really rough spot to be in, especially because, like, even in order to try to make that comeback happen, you'd have to win 3 break points in addition to 2 of your own points just to get to a tiebreaker. And considering how strong New Zealand has looked, that would just be something else. Chocobo for Aura, says Hubba Wubba, as the possible last pick of this match. I can appreciate it. I gotta say, this is the longest 1:40 long map in the history of Osu. I remember I was looking at this just to refamiliarize myself because it's been a while, and it felt like it had been going on for 5 minutes. I looked at the top right, and it was like halfway through. I don't understand what it is about this map, but it takes an eternity.
I think it's the combination of the BPM with, like, the AR. It being AR6 base. So, just to put it out there, like, all of the stats on this map, so circle size, HP drain, accuracy, and approach rate, are all 6. So, it's mostly the CS6 and the AR6 that will affect these players mostly. I have to be reminded, is easy allowed?
No, it's HD and HR as the allowed mods.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are going to run on a map like this, actually. I suspect you probably just make sure you have reading players and run hidden. Like, if you're New Zealand, you have JGLF and chests, so you can probably just run hiddens. But you have can Arbusian play small circles? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's, yeah, definitely JGLF hidden. Probably chests on the Hard Rock, I would think.
I guess we'll see. They can kind of run any number of things. Like, they're playing this for the vibes, it seems like, right? Based on what Hubba said, so they just want to have a good time.
Yep. Let's see who decides to come back in on the side of matalisbaldspot. Let's see KT09 and Evernight in the lobby. Let's see if maybe Hidden on Osu comes back as well as Orange Juice. There we go. Those are the 2 players that will be running out. Hidden on Osu, I would think would be taking Hidden for the name's sake, but maybe I'm just flat out wrong, as we are going to get into this map here. And just setting up a few things, and then we'll be getting away. New Zealand looking poised to take a clean sweep here. However, they still do have to play the map. So I won't say, well, I know I just said it was like pretty much they're poised to take it. They aren't guaranteed to take it. That's the way to put it.
Well, start's coming out, so here we go. Let's find out. And gonna be maybe a little wrong with the mods. It is indeed Arbusian on the Hard Rock. They're just going double Hard Rock. Wow, it's no mods for chess and JGLF. Instead, running a double HR. Hidden on KT09, HDHR and Hidden on Osu. And then no mods on Evernight and Orange Juice as we get into it. And, I mean, we'll see what happens. This is a super, super old map. It's a style that not everybody plays all the time. It's, it has map settings that we haven't really needed to see a lot. We saw a 6.5 earlier. But this is something else entirely. And there goes Arbusian, Hidden on Osu, and Orange Juice, all in the sliders there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that early lead for New Zealand. Chess also following it up with another break. I also find it very trippy for these Hard Rock players because it being AR6 base, it only goes up to 8.4. So it is still a relatively a reading map, I would say. In a way.
And New Zealand, I think, are actually just kind of trolling this. JGLF is literally SSing, and everyone else is just dead. Oh, but there's the quad break. Hubba says in chat, quad break incoming, and instantly matalisbaldspot quad breaks. JGLF continues on the SS. We have a fortune teller in chat who has just cursed the entirety of matalisbaldspot, and JGLF is on track to make him the soothsayer to move New Zealand onward into the 6-0.
I mean, it couldn't happen any other way, right? It's just like the quad break comes out. There's more breaks on the side of matalisbaldspot. Everybody else is breaking. We're all just looking at JGLF. Unfortunately, he's dropped the SS. Now just sitting on the 1-100. So unfortunate, but it is going to be New Zealand taking the match here, as I guess we're waiting for people to finish the map here.
JGLF gets there's like 4 players offset with the others. That was really interesting the way that ended, but
yes.
Oh, I hate this ending of the song. JGLF 1-100 on the Nomad, just to make it look good, to make it look clean, to do it with style. matalisbaldspot really did put their best foot forward. Like, you actually have to give them a lot of credit for their performance on that map, because if it wasn't for JGLF going nuclear, matalisbaldspot could have had a point on the board there. But unfortunately, JGLF is really, really good at his skill set, and was not going to allow a point to slip away that he was able to hold on to. So 6-0 it goes, and onward into the quarterfinals. Go New Zealand.
Yep, that's going to be a dominant win for them, and I don't have it pulled up who they would play next, but who they would potentially play next. But we can tell you when our next match is going to be. So we have about a 9-hour break here now after our opening match here, and our next match is going to be a match between at 13 UTC between Grease Monkey and Nation. So this was the other team from Group G that was up against New Zealand, who got second seed, and then it's the first seed from Group B, who matalisbaldspot also came from. So that will be at 13 UTC, and that will be brought to you by T1G and Torva Zero.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I did not do that on purpose with the matches featuring the same groups, but it just ended up that way. Obviously, they are on the opposite side of the bracket. New Zealand, next up, by the way, to answer your earlier question, they will get the winner of Cat Ball versus Hippo Cup GIF, which means they're waiting until after the last match of the weekend. So they play the first match of the weekend, and they have to wait until the last match of the weekend to know who their opponents will be. So we'll find out on that one in a while, but for now, congratulations to New Zealand, continuing their winning ways in this tournament, looking very, very strong in that 6-0. matalisbaldspot will wish them good luck in the losers bracket next week. And we thank you guys for being here for the late evening quick match of tonight. Thank you to Juno. And we'll be back 13 UTC tomorrow morning, 9 hours from now, as round of 16 week will be continuing. So we'll see you then.
Have a good night.